May is a time of great energy. You felt the shifts in the wind and the stirring and the commotion of the weather. And that is the symbol, the representation of the shifts in the new age world. It is that opportunity for you to shift too. It may feel like you're tumbling through the woods. It might feel inconsistent or even inconsiderate in terms of the way that the energy seems to be thrashing around. And so we invite you in all experiencing this time, those especially who are highly sensitive, to ground into themselves, to curl their toes into the soil, figuratively and physically as able. Because what that'll do is allow you the opportunity to be steadfast, to be supported as these shifts occur. It will start to feel lighter. As the winds go and as the rain falls, it is releasing, cleansing, clearing away some of the stale energy that is in the space. This month, many emotions are being released, and in that release, which can feel heavy, the remnants are in the air, and those remnants are being dissipated, being released, and that's where the lightness will come. So it'll start at the low, up into a high, and we don't necessarily mean from a judgment standpoint, more so from a weighted standpoint, where the air will feel heavy and then light, maybe each day even at the micro scale, but then as you zoom out throughout the month, the beginning of the month might feel heavy, and as you go through, it'll feel lighter, and it'll feel lighter, and then in June, that'll start to become more steadfast and more smooth, and we are going to focus back in on May. Do not let yourself be deceived this month, for when these remnants hang in the air as they are being alchemized and transfigured, transmuted into their new state, into the light, that moment of hold before that has happened is the opportunity for deception to occur, where you might feel into something and make inaccurate conclusions because of it. Not necessarily because you are wrong, but because you are misreading the environment. You're not wrong in picking up something funky, but your interpretation of the funkiness is where the wrong might occur. And so make sure to go slow and steady and not create assumptive states as you're going through your days this month especially. The other aspect we want to bring, and this is something you've noticed, is people are ascending and going into higher vibrational states, but many are doing this from an ungrounded space. So the air is going to feel buzzy in the same way that allergenically you can feel frazzled. That is your cue to ground, but it's also how it might feel in general in the world, not because you're not grounded, but because others are not. And you might pick up essences of that in talking to people and hearing the way that they are verbalizing themselves to you in the energetic state that they're in. You're going to feel like you can't trust it. And it's because they aren't grounded. And that can create a sense of chaos, a feminine without its masculine pole. And so you are not meant to serve as that pole, though we do hear that you're saying, okay, I can hold space for this. And that is true. You can hold the space, but your job is not to hold the space for others. It is to hold the space for your own soul growth. And we remind you to not take responsibility for the remnants that you sense in the world around you. For your goal is yourself. That is where we want you to focus. That is where transformation lies for you. And so we know that you're called to be in joy this month, and we would invite you to keep on that path. But also realize that part of that joy is going to be releasing and processing emotions, not just your own, but those of the ancestral lines that you've experienced. And so those are our themes that we have for you for this month.